Welcome to our deep dive. Today we're tackling something every business thinks about, or, well, should be thinking about. How do you figure out who your most valuable customers really are?
And, crucially, what do you do with that information?
Exactly. We've got some retail sales data, an analysis report, and a histogram to help us unpack customer lifetime value. You might hear it called CLV.
Yeah, our goal here is to sort of translate these raw numbers, these visuals, into insights you can actually use to understand customer spending, and what it signals for the business.
Okay, so let's start there. Customer lifetime value, CLV. What is it fundamentally, and why does it matter so much?
Well, at its heart, CLV is basically the total amount of money a customer is expected to spend with your business, like over their entire relationship with you.
Okay.
So to calculate it, you just add up all their transactions. You need a unique customer ID to group them, of course. It's their total financial footprint, really.
Right, their total impact. So you get all these individual numbers. How do you make sense of the bigger picture? That's where something like a histogram is useful.
Precisely. A histogram helps massively. Think of it like this. You take all those individual CLV numbers and sort them into bins or ranges.
Like buckets.
Exactly, buckets. So how many customers spent between, say, $50 and $100? How many between $100 and $150? The histogram just visually shows you how tall each bucket is.
Giving you that quick visual, like a mountain range of spending habits, as you said.
Yeah, a snapshot of where the value is concentrated in your customer base.
And looking at the data and the histogram we have, it seems like one range really stands out, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's pretty clear. Both the raw list of CLVs and the histogram, they point very strongly to the $125 to $175 range being the most common.
With the peak, that tallest bar, centered smack dab at $150.
Right, and you see it in specifics, too. We have customers like C08, C01, C01 times, C020, all hitting exactly $150 CLV, and others nearby, like C001, C04 at $100. It really highlights your core customer spending level.
Okay, so that's the core. But looking at that histogram shape, it's not a perfect bell curve, is it? There's more going on.
No, definitely not. It's what we call positively skewed. You have that main hump around $150, but then this long tail stretching out to the right, meaning you have a small number of customers who spend way more than the average. So even though most customers are below $250, these few high spenders pull the overall picture out.
Yeah, I noticed customer C006, a $400 CLV. That's quite a jump from the $150 core.
Huge jump. That's a perfect example of that long tail. And there are others, maybe not that high, but still significant. You mentioned C005, C010, C011. They're in that $200, $300 bracket.
So you really see the whole spectrum, from what was the lowest, C016 at $60, all the way up to C06 at $400. It really shows the diversity, value-wise.
It absolutely does. It emphasizes that customer value isn't just one number.
Okay, brings us to the big question then. What does this mean practically? If you're running the business, how do you use these insights?
Well, the most immediate thing is customer segmentation. It's not theoretical anymore. The data shows you these distinct groups.
Right. I've got your low-value group, maybe $50 to, let's say, $125. Then the core around $150. And then these high-value folks, maybe $250, $300 plus.
Exactly. And knowing this lets you tailor everything, marketing, retention efforts, customer service. You wouldn't treat a $60 customer the same way you treat your $400 star, would you?
Probably not. So for that core $150 group, maybe it's about loyalty programs, encouraging that next purchase, keeping them engaged.
Yeah, absolutely. Consistent value, maybe personalized recommendations based on past purchases, build that loyalty. But for the C006s, the $400 ones...
You might roll out the red carpet.
Sort of. Maybe exclusive previews, perhaps premium support, maybe even a dedicated account manager, depending on the business. Things that acknowledge their disproportionate value.
It makes sense. You're using the actual numbers, that $150 average, the $60 low, the $400 high, to define who gets what kind of attention. Much smarter than a one-size-fits-all approach.
Precisely. It turns that spreadsheet of transactions, that histogram, into a strategic map. Data-driven decisions in action.
What a great example of turning data into a clear roadmap.
It really is. Taking raw sales, visualizing the CLV, it just gives you such a powerful lens for focusing your strategy.
So it leaves us with a thought, really. If you're listening, how could you use this kind of CLV thinking? How would you specifically tailor your approach to nurture that core group versus, say, cultivating those high-value outliers, knowing what you know now about their different contributions? Something to definitely chew on.